third trend for the Flavor Forecast 2021 is underwater, undiscovered. This is tapping into the potential of underwater world with interesting flavors, ingredients, and textures. So when we talk about seaweed, sea moss, and we bring the salt water into it, it really is us just touching the surface of the water. There's so much below the sea that really adds flavor, creativity, and color. It's one of my personal favorite trends this year. The deep blue sea offers limitless potential when it comes to ingredient innovation. Sustainable and nutritious, seaweed is already having a moment in the spotlight. Saltwater and sea botanicals are just a few of these wonders, totally reinventing snacks, seasonings, cocktails, and even charcuterie boards. As you know, 70% of Earth is water, but a large percentage of our taste experiences are land-based. It's time to tap into this unexplored flavor potential. According to Business Wire, the global algae product market is forecasted to register a compound annual growth rate of 5.1% from 2019 to 2024. Many famous celebrities like the Kardashians are tweeting their fans on how they enjoy the occasional sea moss smoothie. There are other means of consuming sea botanicals with creative application. With the rise of crunchy fish skin snacks like the bangus skin chicharon, different sea seasonings like furikake and seaweed sea salt, to seaweed recipes beyond Japanese cuisine, to deeper explorations of the different sea vegetables. This would not only make it interesting and exciting for chefs, but as well as consumers alike. Now, don't forget to eat your underwater vegetables too. Underwater botanicals offer a fresh, earthy flavor to savory meals and cocktails. There's a whole garden of ocean botanicals ripe for the picking that offer up untapped potential in flavor, color, and nutrition. Seaweed, of course, is the more obvious choice, but there's spirulina and sea grapes, locally known as lato. These exciting underwater botanicals infuse big umami-forward flavor into snacks, meals, and beverages like kelp pickles, agar noodles, and spirits. Salt water brings a fresh and briny bite to foods and beverages. It can also dimensionalize eating and drinking experiences with an experiential component. I actually had fun making these two recipes for this trend. The first recipe is seaweed pesto with sea salt shrimp over pasta. I utilized the common seaweed known to many as wakame in this recipe and highlighted its umami and briny flavors. Paired well with sea salt seasoned jumbo shrimps, now that's a mouthful, it gives a subtle yet overpowering flavor of the sea. Now, this second recipe is my favorite among all the recipes I've played with. Imagine miso soup, but ice cream. Now, this is basically just seaweed ice cream, paired with burnt spicy miso caramel and umami furikake topper. Also using wakame, we also highlighted another botanical from the sea, which is called hijiki, a brown sea vegetable growing wild in the rocky coastlines of Japan, Korea, and China. This is paired well with that spicy, almost burnt flavor of miso caramel and some umami kick from the savory furikake seasoned with sea salt. Now, I think the most important thing people should take away from it, especially on this trend, is to really explore things that you're not accustomed to having from under the sea. Now, on to the next and final trend for this year is what we call physiological eating. Inspired by ancient practices, physiological eating embraces a holistic notion of eating for balance. Based on your individual needs, this means choosing flavors that are aligned to each of the 6 categories, not to mention harnessing the warming and cooling properties of different herbs and spices. Now, physiological eating directly means, to put it simply, to eat intentionally, where balance is key both for the mind and the body. To eat with the intention of food as a life-giving force to heal, fulfill, and nourish. With the reemergence of mindful eating and intentional ingredients, inspired by ancient practices and beliefs, the focus to achieve mind and body balance has shifted directly to flavorful ingredients to adapt to the ever-changing world around us. With ideas, cultures, and philosophies in mind, with this trend, we focus on these common themes. The first is to eat in harmony with individual and external states. Second, flavoring for balance. And last, the acknowledgement of the symbiotic relationship between senses and seasons. When it comes to ancient approaches to health and wellness, like the Ayurvedic practice, it is thought that balancing the 6 days results in greater mind and body satisfaction. Sweet, that is said to ground you. Sour, said to refresh and cleanse. Great examples for this would be citrus, like our local calamansi, some fermented fruits, and of course, tamarind or sampalok. Salty is there to help create balance. Bitter, on the other hand, is to cleanse. Great examples for this would be the fenugreek, cumin, and our favorite, green tea. Astringent is said to be cooling, like turmeric, parsley, and pomegranate. Pungent is said to be warming and invigorating, like ginger, hot peppers, and mustard seeds. Now, in Ayurvedic practice, nutritious foods, herbs, and spices are used to maintain the balance of elements in the body. Warming spices provide heat and comfort, while, on the other hand, cooling spices are said to cool and calm. Now, on the first recipe for this trend, we made a slow-cooked pulled beef with mango turmeric drizzle. This one I paired with crispy ube chips to pick up those pulled beef, and then you drizzle some mango turmeric sauce on top. This adds a perfect balance to the warming and cooling notes of ginger, turmeric, fenugreek, and lemongrass. Now, on the last and final recipe I've played with, I made localized samosas, tomato chutney, sweet and smoky chickpeas, and just to balance and bring everything together is the cilantro cream. We highlighted the balancing of the 6 days by using different herbs and spices like onion, garlic, ginger, lemongrass, and such to add saltiness, sourness, astringency, pungency, and of course, bitterness from the fenugreek just to balance everything out. You can utilize flavors across these 6 categories to add balance to anything you're making, from meals to products to anything in between. The sky's the limit. Now, this sums up the trends of the Flavor Forecast 2021 edition. Thank you.